Hi, welcome to the small shed. This week the projects get even stranger than usual. This week it's a duck windmill. See you in a minute. Now, we had a lady drop by the shed the other day with some broken pieces of what was a windmill that her husband had made years ago, and she wondered if we could make a replacement. So I'll just show you all the bits that came in and we'll make a start on the project. Now, this looks like being the next little project. It's a duck out of somebody's garden that their husband made many years ago, and which has totally rotted and disintegrated. Basically there should be two wings on each side. It's like a windmill, so that when the wind blows, looks like it's flapping its wings. The lady would like one made up the same, obviously not repaired because it's way past that, in something like sapele mahogany. So I'm going to dig a bit of that out. Let's see if we've got some timber, then we can start and make some stencils and get the sizes for the timber and get them cut out on the bandsaw, I think. But we're going to have a look and see. We've got quite a bit of sapele in at the moment. So I think we can get at it. I don't know what this has been. It looks like a bit of shelf or handrail or something, but I think that'll be fine. Slightly thicker, but that is not a problem. Not a lot by the time we've planed it down. And she wants it a little bit fatter than it is at the moment. She wants a bit more shape in the body. But I'm just going to cut the piece off that and take away, and we can make a start on that. Okay, so I've got a nice piece off the end of the sapele mahogany. It's got a hole in it where it's been fixed. I think it's been a skirting board by the look of it. Don't know, because it's finished on the top face, but nothing on the bottom and half the back. It may have been an upstand round an opening stairwell or something, maybe, I don't know, but it's not finished on the bottom. It needs a bit of work doing, planing it up. There's a lot of machine marks in that, so it's not a very good finish on it. So I'm going to run it through the thickness planer anyway to get it down. But what I need to do is make sure that when I do it, I only use the top part and avoid that hole, which I hadn't noticed when I cut it off, but it's fine. So I think the first thing to do is to take this thing apart, and then we can make some templates for it. And as I said, I think the lady wants it pretty much the same, maybe slightly larger, but with a slightly fatter body and neck. Lovely. There's a dowel through the middle, which I think will split in half as well when you get it out. You can see the timber in the middle is pretty rotten. Yeah, not much of that left, but again enough to be able to get the sizes that we need. Let's clean this mess up a bit. So what we've got, I think, is body which again I think has been broken in the past at that point. I think the neck's come off, but that will be able to be made out of that. And as I say, just got to make it a little bit fatter and draw a template out of that, and effectively then a couple of windmills that yeah, like that, with these wings. Now they've been done out of a thin plywood, which surprisingly has stood up quite well to it. There's a slight damage where it's obviously fallen off in the past, but the ply is in quite good condition. Now I know I've got some thin plywood which will do the wings, I think. So we've got that, just want a bit of treatment, but we've got the material for those. We've got the material for the body, the dowel. I might just turn something up out of hardwood. I'll get the sizes on that, and then we'll just find the balance point. I'm not sure whether this has had like a bearing surface in there. So I'm not sure whether it's stood on there in the past and just gone round with the wind. I think it probably wants to be at a point of balance. So what I think I'll do is I will make it all up as I see fit in terms of its shape and size, and then once it's all put together, find a balance point, and we'll put a spindle up into that point with some sort of a bearing, probably just a ball bearing or something, just to take that. So a bit of paper or something to make ourselves a bit of card, make a template, and then we can, if I draw it out on that first, and then I can make it bigger in the necessary places. So let's go and find some card first. Got some card. Leave ourselves a bit of room to expand it, and then I'll just draw around the basic shape first, and then we can blow it up from there onwards. What I'll also do is take a note of the wing shapes. Okay, so we want him slightly fatter, slightly bigger, so I think the first thing to do is to stretch it, probably not a huge amount, but maybe that much, another 2 or 3 inches, and then we want to make it fatter. So perhaps if we, or bigger generally, so just take him up there a bit. Probably just a bit fatter. I mean, it doesn't need a huge amount more, because I think making it longer will probably naturally put a bit more weight into the body anyway. So it will look a bit fatter anyway. That's better, I think. Okay. Now the hole was roughly in the middle, fairly high up. So we'll put it roughly in the middle, fairly high up, like that. And really all I've got to do now is see how big it was to start with. Was 420mm. It is now about 480, so it's gone up to 60, so it's going up by about 1/7 of its original size. 4s are 28, so it's going to be about 25mm bigger. So the wings need to be about that big, and again we'll just make them maybe slightly more tubby. Right, it's got the templates done, and the lady decided she wanted it in wood, I think, rather than painted. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. Would be nice to get some of the detail in it in. Perhaps the beak could be dyed darker colour or something, I'm not sure. Yeah, these blocks in the middle of the wings. Get it all down in one thing at the same time. We're 75mm. Need to be about 77 plus 11 is 88 long, really, don't we? Something like that. And that'll give me the size for the blocks that the wings go into. So I'll need some hardwood that's about 30mm. Although I've got this, I could probably cut. Yeah, we'll cut a strip off that and make it square. So I think that's just about there for the templating. I'm just going to cut this out now and see how we get on. Right. What I'm also going to do on that is make a note of all the bits of the sizes of these pieces before they totally disintegrate or I lose them, both of which are eminently likely. So I want 4 of those. And I want 1 of those. And we want dowel times 1. Get some wood cut, or at least put it through the planer. So we'll dig the planer out, I think, next, and run this section through it. Right, it's got the piece of wood in a reasonable state. A little bit thinner but not too much, and again, as I say, I want to make it a bit more of a rounded body in section as well, so that's fine. Just going to now just run around the perimeter with a Sharpie and get the shape. We can get it on the bandsaw. I think you can see the probably needs a new blade on the saw. I can't remember when I changed it last, and it's getting a little bit struggling, although you can actually feel differences in the grain in different places as well. But it could do with a sharper blade in there, but it's got the basic shape done anyway. What I think I'm going to do now is give it a rough sand down and then run it through the router table with quite a big coved bit on it, probably find the biggest one I've got, and get some shape into the body itself. Right, I've got the biggest bit that I've got in the armoury. It's not as big as I would like, but we'll do what we can with it, and then maybe have to go in with sandpaper afterwards. Start it on a relatively low cut, just to get it started, and then we can take it from there. Right, I think I'm going to enjoy this one. I put that router around it, and that's cut a very slight groove into it because the cutter was up fairly high, which is good. That gives me something then to sand back to. What I've then done is to go in with the hand sanding and started to smooth that out, and it really is becoming something that is rather nice. Just starting to round the body off. Just taking the squareness out of the original, and as I say, we've fattened the body out slightly. It is a little bit longer, but not much. But that just, particularly around the head and neck, that really is beginning to make quite a difference. And I think when we come to do the eye, I'll just put a dowel, do a vertical drill through it, and then probably just put a dowel in or something that's in a dark wood, rather than paint it. I'm really, yeah, really enjoying this one. Right, that's as much time as I've got this week to be able to do anything on it. We've got the duck, got the shape right. This overcut on the router has proved ideal because it just gives me a chance to get that rounding on, to get a much bigger curve on it, and it's starting to take on quite a nice shape. So hopefully next time we'll be getting this thing finished and installed, but in the meantime, hope you enjoyed the video. Look forward to seeing you next time. I'll see you then. Bye.